Hi everyone, it's Brave here again. This stupid alarm clock thing that I'd set to remind me, like, when I get home, like, go to sleep, because I work nights and sometimes you stay up late and you don't you know you've been working all night, so you're kind of awake and you've been drinking Red Bull and coffee and you got too much caffeine in you, so you kind of are like, well, I don't feel tired, I'm just going to stay up. But then if you don't sleep at least a couple hours during the day, even if you got stuff to do later in the evening before the shop shut or whatever, or laundry, but it's so frustrating because you kind of don't realize, like, how these YouTube live things, um when you're trying to do like the live thing, any other alarms or notifications kind of block the microphone. And I assumed it would sort of block the microphone for a second and then turn off, like when I press the alarm to turn off. But then it just stopped the whole audio. Anyway, don't worry, we're back up in this bish. But yeah, so I can stay on for at least 1 more hour and then I must go to sleep. So if I fall asleep while on here, my apologies. But hold on, I just got to plug in a charger for a second. Hold on. um 1 second. Doo, doo, doo. Yeah, so I hope everyone is okay. You know, if anyone's struggling, I'm very, very sorry for that. And I hope that, you will get through it. And, if it's to do with losing a job or, being in a difficult situation, a relationship or something, just remember that, you can pray for strength and guidance, from God, your angels, your ancestors, ask for help, and even if you receive that help through others, like, don't reject kind others who come into your life who genuinely want to help you, because that's how sometimes God will send the help in through others, to speak through others. You might suddenly see a recommended video and you think, I didn't type in that subject, why is this coming up? And if you feel drawn to it or curious about it, it might be because there's some message in there you need to hear that will help, encourage you. And or there might even be, you might come across something that has a connection, a link to a job, or you know or something that will help heal your relationship pains and stuff like that. So, don't let your misery and stuff block you from noticing when blessings are popping up for you, because it can be hard. I've had times where I was so depressed, I didn't even feel like I could, pray. I was so down. I didn't even see the point of praying, even though I knew that, God and his angels exist and I can call on my ancestors to give me strength, lend me strength. And but yet sometimes you just feel so depressed, so sad, that you don't even really know how to react. You haven't even got enough energy to do the things that would make you feel better. I mean, one thing I noticed, that, like, if I'm not, feeling great, I will try to find a song I like that really is bouncy, not an emotional song, because sometimes if you're going through relationship stuff and you start playing all the love song type stuff, it makes you feel more sad, even though you want to sing it. And, like, like when I left at X and there was a certain song we used to listen to together, and whenever I heard the song after I left him, even though he'd been really nasty to me, the song made me cry because it reminded me of him, and I wanted him so bad to be the one that was with me forever. He was the one I would have picked if he had had a good personality and had not been a sadistic, malignant narc. That kind of sours the deal a bit, So yeah, and he was very, very dangerous and very, very calculating and very, very controlling. And, oh god, like, it's so scary because it was like he was like a Jekyll and Hyde. One minute he could mimic me and mimic my kindness and make you think he was the sweetest, most kindest person in the world, and he pulled it off so well that for the first few months I didn't recognize the red flags because he'd been mimicking me. you know. So narcs tend to mimic whoever they're around, you know. And I've said this before, where like if a narc sees someone smoking who is interested in them and they don't smoke, they'll suddenly take up smoking. You know, they mimic, literally mimicking. Suddenly they'll start dressing similar to the person, or talking similar to the person, or eating the things that they didn't even like. You know, and then after they break off with the person, suddenly they don't ever do those things again. And then the next person they're with, they'll mimic that person. You know, it's like to try and hook people in, to try and be like, look, I'm one of you. I'm not a horrible narcissistic robot who's coming to get you. I'm a human. Look at me mimicking human behavior. And yeah, so it can be hard to trust, because when you've been through any relationship that had any type of abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, it can be extremely scary to want to go out and meet new people, because you almost don't trust your own judgment for a little bit, because you know you didn't see the signs before, and you really panic and think, well, what if I don't see them again, you know. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure once you've been around narcs, you will recognize them again, because there are certain things you can say and do to test them, and if they don't react a certain way, or do react a certain way, that can help you know. Like if someone has lack of empathy for something that normal people would have empathy for, that's a red flag. That's more than likely a narc. If you try to get close to them, and the closer you get to them the worse they treat you, that is definitely a narc. If they're jealous of you and unhappy when you're happy, that's definitely a narc. If they almost talk to you like you're an object, like like you're their property, you know, that's not just controlling behavior. That could be a severe narcissistic personality disorder. Because I remember my ex used to look at me uh, and just like out of the blue, like we'd just be sitting watching TV or something, and then he'd turn and look me in the eyes and go, "You're mine," and I'd be like, "Ah," and I'd laugh and go, "Oh my god, why are you saying that?" And he'd just be like, "You're mine," and I'd be like, "Oh," and I thought he was joking, but there was something about it that was just really weird, because most of the time he wouldn't look you in the eye. You know what I mean? Like he'd be the kind of annoying person who you'd be talking to him and you'd be clicking your fingers like, hello, I'm talking to you, because he's looking past you, looking at everyone, trying to catch the eye of everyone around, wanting their attention. That's another terribly annoying thing that narcs do. They will talk well and joke around and be happy with everyone else except you. Once you get close to them, or once they feel they have you, they have your love, they have your loyalty, you won't get any of that good love bombing and good behavior anymore. You will suddenly be the person they can't stand. Suddenly they're so irritated by you. Suddenly everything they loved about you, they now hate about you, even though you have never changed. You're consistently the same. So that's how you know they're a narc, because you didn't do anything. You were perfect. Like at first they're like, yeah, call me every day, I love it. Talk to me for 5 hours a day, I love it. You know, and you're like, really? Okay, anything for you. And then suddenly, why are you calling me so long? Why are you, you know, why are you asking me if I'm okay? Why are you this? Why are you that? And it's like, because before you said this is what you wanted. So then you say, oh, you want me to leave you alone? Yes, I want you to leave me alone. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Bye. And then you walk away and leave them alone and start focusing back on yourself, because you were never not busy. You were always busy, right? But they're making out like you have no life, no work, no social life, nothing to do. The audacity of these bitches to be like, ooh, go and find something to do so you're not focused on me. Bitch, I was never focused on you past a certain point. I was just trying to be a good soul, a good friend, a good person. But I was not giving up my life and sitting on the bathroom floor, rocking back and forward, waiting for you to answer your phone. So, how dare you accuse me of things I'm not doing? And how dare you paint me out to be some idiot who has no life and who only has you to, you know, focus on? That was really funny to me, but also very annoying. That, and then they'll tell people this, oh, she won't stop calling me, oh, she calls me a million times a day. Ain't no one calling anyone a million times a day. Even if I didn't have anything going on, how would I be calling you a million times a day? And you could easily block the person or turn off the ringer, or like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, where someone who you barely called 4 times a day, like when I say 4 times, I mean like sometimes you'll redial, won't you? I mean, like, you might call twice in the daytime, say in the morning, and then you might wait till the evening and call 2 more times. So that's just 4 rings in one day, and they will freak out and say, "You're blowing up my phone. You're blowing up my phone," in their Tennessee accent. And I just find that hilarious. Like, who's blowing up your phone? Who are you talking to? It could never be me, because I don't blow up anyone's phone. And if I did, it was to annoy you, to get on your nerves after you were disrespectful. So say if someone's disrespectful to you, and then they hang up on you before you can reply. So they say something nasty, they swear at you for no reason, they, you know, cause trouble with you, and then you're about to go, "You mother effer," they go click and click it off. So you don't get to reply, you don't get to cuss them back. You send the message verbally. I mean, sorry, you tried to say it verbally, they cut you off, they hung up. Then that makes people angry, innit? When you're angry and people won't acknowledge you, and then you write a message, right? And then they won't open the message because they know it's an angry message. So I don't know. It's very, very hard to it's hard to cope with narcissistic people. When you fall in love with them because of the fake mask they wear, that you really think is this amazing, great person who really loves and cares about you, even if it's just a friendship, you think they're there for you as a friend. I mean, even if I'm just an acquaintance who barely knows you, I can still be nice to you. You don't have to be rude about it if you don't want to call every day, or, you know what I mean? Like, I've got people who live where I live in the same building, and we talk every day, and yet we are in the same house, you know what I mean? And yet they will go to work and want to be like chatting to me on their lunch break. I chat to them on my lunch break. You know what I mean? Like, and we didn't have to be super close. If these are just flatmates or friends of friends, you don't have to be rude to anyone or nasty to anyone. That's how you know someone's a narc, when they get pleasure from lashing out at you and knowing you're hurt. And most people will just walk away and not even engage with them. But because I got anger issues, you talk to me like in that disrespectful, nasty way, I'm gonna lash out back at you. You're not gonna talk to me that way, that's for damn sure. I'm gonna make sure you hear my voice and get a tongue lashing. But it's very weird. It's very hard to understand. Why are there so many narcs in the world? I mean, it's like I was having a discussion with some other friends from New York the other day, and so I'm in London, they're in New York, and we talk over WhatsApp and stuff, or like Facebook or whatever. And we were saying, like, is there a rise in narcissism? Do you think there's a rise in narcissism? And I said, well, there's a lot of people who have been abused in different ways growing up, and they say that narcissism comes from being a victim of abuse. So I'm guessing the abuse is not going down. So yes, the narcissism is rising because people's brains can't handle the terrible trauma that they've been subjected to. So their brain splits and then they become a narcissist. Now, not everyone who's gone through trauma and pain and abuse will become a narcissist. Like me, I went through terrible trauma and abuse and did not become a narcissist whatsoever. Still retained my empathy and compassion for others. I mean, maybe because I'm an empath, I was given, a bit of extra strength to deal with my journey, my life journey, my mission, to learn these harsh lessons down here. But at the same time, I have met someone who was a communal narcissist, and he clearly was also an empath, and he was very intelligent, and he was very what do you call it, very magnetic. People loved to talk to him, but then he would mood swing very quickly, and you'd think, wow, how did he do that so quick? I didn't say anything different, I didn't do anything different. But if he felt like you weren't laser focused on him, you had to be laser focused on him. If you started talking to other people in the friend group or in the group chat, or and joking with them or bantering with them or flirting with them, he would suddenly be like a bit cold to you, even though we weren't close like that. And then it reminded me of uh my ex narc, who would just look at you and be like, "You're mine," and you'd be like, "Ah!" And I'd be like, "Oh my god, what do you mean? Like, you scare me." I mean, I would laugh it off because you thought they were being silly. It's like if I go up to someone who I know very well and go, "I'm coming to get you," and they go, "Ah," and it's a joke. It's like, I know where you live. It's all in fun, but I think he meant it, because the way he would act so creepy and possessive over me, it was like, this is not regular behavior. This is not cool. Because I want to, have, if I'm with you, if I'm your partner, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever, I expect that we want to feel close to each other, like we belong to each other. But I'm not wanting to control you at the detriment of your freedom. I want you to feel free, independent, and happy. Like when they say, if something belongs to you, let it go, let it free, and it will come back to you. Something like that. I forgot that analogy, whatever it is. But anyway, I've got some positive words I'd like to read that I've written, and these were inspired by other people's positive words that I resonated with, so I wrote my own little version. you know like people around the world who have come across famous quotes and things. And yeah, so yeah, let me just so all right, let me start here. I was just looking through my notes. Okay. So I am a spiritual being of love and light, having a human experience. But the woman I am in this life is a strong and powerful person, descended from a long line of survivors and brave warriors and fighters who never took the evil things done against them silently. My ancestors had less choices and options than what I am exposed to now, but they still fought to spark the catalyst of change in their own times that they lived in, and at any cost. And their sacrifices and struggles paved the way for me now and for the future generations to come. So we must keep fighting to keep ourselves protected and maintain our freedom. That is our birthright. And and get the things we want and need, in this life, and do no harm to others. Okay, so also here's some more. This is by John Wesley. He was a founder of the Methodist church, the nonconformist church, and he's an amazing person in history. You should look up John Wesley and Charles Wesley of the Methodist church, and they just are amazingly kind, amazingly helpful. They were against slavery. They actually helped free and hide some slaves, got them away from America and brought them to England, or helped them when they got, because there was a rule that anyone who set foot on English soil was free automatically. So if a slave escaped America, stowed away on a ship, once they set foot in England, they were free, and they could not be taken from England and put back in slavery. And it was like, yeah, this was something he had written, John Wesley. He said, do all the good you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, for all the people you can, for as long as ever you can. Now, to me, that is so heartfelt and empathic and compassionate. It sounds simple. It sounds like, well, isn't it obvious? Do all the good you can to all the people you can, in all the places you can. But to these cold, soulless weirdos in this world right now, it's not their behavior, it's not their first thought to go out and help anyone you know, they don't even want to help themselves. A lot of them abuse their own bodies and let people humiliate them for money. And you know, if you're not even willing to save yourself, how, or help yourself, how are you going to help anyone else? If you don't love and care about you, if you don't have the thought in your head to have self-preservation, to use protection so you don't get diseases and stop creating unwanted pregnancies and, you know, daddyless children, and, you know, women having kids they don't want and then they abuse them because they hate them because the dad left and you look just like your dad. And you know, it's so sad. Like, we really, human beings, we really need to do better. You know, there is not enough of the good souls around, and it is so painful. And as an empath, I feel this heavy weight of the world's negativity on me every day, and that's on top of my own grief and sadness and misery. So, oh, every day is a struggle, but have pushed through for a long time. But you know, getting to this age that I am now, I feel like, oh no, do I have to go through another, I don't know, 50 odd years, 50, 60 years, you know, of more stress? You know, I don't want that. But at the same time, I want to hold on and complete my life mission and help as many people as possible. But I just, you know, it's a daily struggle. You know, you just got to take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Just get through, you know, find your strength within, pray for strength and help, you know, to be able to cope with life's traumas. But another thing I added to what John Wesley said, which I just had spoken on here, um, never be put off or afraid of the size of the problems. You can still make a positive difference in someone's life. So, you know, those words of encouragement, they're inspiring. They're so simple, but they're so poignant and meaningful. You know, well, I know from, you know, reading about John Wesley, going to visit his house up in Bristol and his house in London, visiting his grave, like reading about all the kind deeds he did. And I even went and visited his brother's house in Bristol, and the feeling, the beautiful, welcoming feeling that Charles Wesley and his wife's spirit was in the house, because I have psychic gifts, so I could sense they were there. And oh my God, the overwhelming, beautiful souls they were. They were like, welcome, welcome, come in, come in. It was like a tour, a group of tourists, and so we go in the house, and well, we were waiting outside the house, and it's like, Bristol is a really scruffy city in the southwest of England, full of ugly racist losers. And even though I have some family that live up there, so sometimes I go up there a lot, but I hate it. I hate being up there. It's trash, the people are trash, but you know, what can you do? And they got a stupid accent as well. If you look up a West Country Bristol accent on YouTube, ugh, like, why do they sound like that? They're so yuck. Anyway, um but like, when I went in the house, and immediately this overwhelming, beautiful energy of love and light, and just welcome, welcome, come in, come in. It was so beautiful. And then we went upstairs, and you could just feel the love between. And then the historian who was there even said he loved his wife so much. They were a love match. She, when she got smallpox or something, and her face was, she survived, but her face was all scarred with the smallpox, you know, scars and scabs that had healed but left marks all over her face. And she was so embarrassed, like, oh, I guess you don't love me anymore. And he was like, I could never not love you, you know. And I thought, look at that, that is true soulmate connection, that you don't look at this body, the vessel. You know, that's why when you meet your soul tribe, or people who are soulmates, who you know, and a soulmate doesn't have to be romantic. They could just be someone, you know, you knew in the spirit world before you came here. You agreed to come here to teach each other lessons, to cross each other's path, to either encourage, or, like I said, teach lessons, or help us realize our own, you know, lessons that we need to learn. And yeah, it was just amazing, you know, to really truly feel good souls, even though they're back home now in the spirit world, but they come in visitation at their house, you know. And it was just beautiful because all the songs we sing in church here in England and in the Methodist Church, he wrote them. Charles Wesley wrote them. So I think it's like, oh, I forgot which one it was, but it's a really like common one that we all sing at Christmas. And then the historian said, oh, this room, the salon, is where the John Wesley and his wife would have guests and they would sing at Christmas. I'd like to recreate, no, I'd like to let you be part of history and sing in here right now. So we couldn't sing, I'm like, oh my God, I can't sing. I got a bad voice. But I thought, no, I want to, be part of history and sing in the, be one of the many visitors, add us to the list of the past visitors from the 1700s, 1800s, So we were singing and it was just, the vibration was so high and beautiful. And we had some mince pies, even though I hate mince pies. Why weren't there any apple pies? I don't even know what's in mince pies. It's like some weird currants and raisins in some brown jam mush. I hate it. But yeah, so I'm going to come off here in about 15 minutes just to let you guys know. But yeah, it was just very strange to me how there was so many, like just so there's so many bad people in the world, but then when you see good souls here and there, it does make you feel better and remind you that, even if there's not as many good souls as bad souls, the fact that we're here, because I'm a good soul and I'm a light worker and whatever, and an earth angel, and we're here to just exist, even if we just exist here to chip away at the evil and counter the evil so that it's not all just evil, and we do good where we can as much as we can. And that is so important. And yeah, I just hope everyone in the world can get, the help they need, and find the peace they're looking for. But you must be proactive yourself as well. You can't just sit around wishing and hoping. Do pray and do ask for strength and help, but be proactive where you can. Push through your depression, as much as you can. It's very hard. I understand that. I go through pain and depression every single day, but yet when I look back on my life, I've achieved so much because I refuse to let it beat me. I refuse to let those things beat me, even though every day is a struggle, a genuine struggle. And people around me don't always understand. You try and talk to your friends about it and they just want you to come out drinking or talk about stupid, like low vibrational stuff. And you don't feel that you can connect with them deeply because they want to just have surface level silly encounters. They don't really have the depth or emotional intelligence or maturity to sit with you and say, hey, I'm here for you, I will listen, I won't judge, just speak what's on your heart. A lot of people don't have the capacity to do that, and it is quite painful when you're someone like me who's an empath. You're very deep, you have so much love to give, you care, genuinely care about other human beings and animals and people, everyone you care about. And people keep trying to convince you you're not good enough because they're jealous, because they want, but yet they want to be you, but they're trying to convince you not to be you. It's so stupid. And it's like, well, why don't you, instead of hating me, why don't you learn from me? Why don't you let me lift you up? Why don't you let me help you get up to my level so that you can then be, achieving whatever you want? I never discourage people. Like, the only time I'll be nasty to you is if you've been really nasty to me and crossed the line. And sometimes if I really care about you, you'll get away with it multiple times before I come roaring back at you like a lion. Like, I'll be like, no, I care about them. I don't want to hurt their feelings. But yet they had no problem hurting your feelings. What if I was so, depressed that I jumped off a bridge because of what they said? Do they consider that? But yet when you come roaring back and cussing them out and telling them about themselves, suddenly you're a monster, and you're telling me all these terrible things. Yeah, because in that moment you deserved it. You already got away with so much. How dare you? You really have to be so thick-skinned in this world, but at the same time, don't let anyone tell you, oh, you're too sensitive and you should just get over it. No, I'll have thick skin so that I don't let you demotivate me. And however, I will be angry and sensitive about the disrespect. I don't allow disrespect. I don't deserve the disrespect. And you will learn to not overstep my boundaries. And if you can't, then you're going to have to learn the hard way what it feels like not to have good people around. It's as simple as that. Anyway, I'm very, very tired. I'm about to pass out and fall asleep. So I'm going to just end the live now. But thank you for everyone for being here. And God bless everyone around the world. Have a great day, night, or evening, wherever you are. And I just wish you all peace, love, and protection, genuinely. And if anyone's going through any hardships and suffering, you've got to pray for that strength. There's so many times when I thought I couldn't make it and I really didn't know where to turn, and the only person I had left was myself. There was no one to help me. I've got through a lot of dark times literally by myself. Yet I've always been there for multiple people. They never had to worry. It's like I was just there. They didn't even have to help me. I saw they were struggling and I swooped in and saved them, or whatever, financially or emotionally or whatever it was. And it's just, you have to love and care about yourself, because at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. So that's why you have to nurture your strength, nurture your dignity, your self-esteem, your integrity, strengthen all those things in you, all your good qualities. And don't let anyone convince you that you're not a good person. You know you're a good person. You know your strengths and your weaknesses. You don't need anyone else to tell you about yourself. You need to, as long as you know yourself, nobody can tell you what you are, who you are, how to be, what you should and shouldn't do. I mean, society is a very, very strange place where there are so many people assuming they're entitled to control you when they haven't even got their shit together. They haven't even got their life together, but they want to tell you about your life. Like, I cannot understand that. I'm like, so hold on a minute. Hold on. You're someone who's taking drugs, sleeping with random people, catching diseases, you drink too much alcohol, you're abusing people, you're just like, you're putting yourself in danger, in harm's way, you're provoking psychopaths and then wondering why you're getting attacked. Like, why are you telling me about myself when I've not done any of that? you know or if I've done made any mistakes in the past, I've learnt my lesson and try to warn you, don't make the same mistakes I made. But instead you don't want to listen. You telling me don't tell you what to do. Okay, well, don't tell me what to do then. Because I was telling you some advice. I was suggesting. I wasn't telling you what to do. I was suggesting for your greater good, for your highest good, because I care about you. Maybe you should try not to be an alcoholic anymore. Just try. Take the risk to improve your life instead of taking these risks that are ruining your life. And it's very painful when someone you care about really rejects your love and kindness and friendship, and there's no reason for it. They should be grateful, they should be happy that you want to be there for them, but they're not. And then it just destroys. It just makes you feel bad, because if they would just listen to you, their life could improve overnight, for real. Like, sometimes you can see where they're going wrong, where they can't see, and then you try and point it out and they take offense, like, oh, you think you're better than me because you can sweep in and solve my problems. Like, no, I just want to not save you in a way that, oh, you're incapable, but if you are being incapable of seeing where your life could improve, what harm is it that I want to help you? Like, it's exhausting. And at the end of the day, sometimes you have to let people learn the hard way. You can't force a plant to grow. You can't force a horse to drink. You can take him to the water, but you can't, why keep flogging a dead horse? If something is a lost cause and now they're turning on you and hating you, finding ways to hurt you just because you tried to help them. They're literally going around talking about you to people, making up lies about you, trying to humiliate you. Who's gonna be humiliated by you telling a bunch of strangers that they don't even know lies about them? Like, if you told someone I cared about, the person would know that was a lie because they already knew me. But you're going to tell some strangers I don't know lies about me, and then you're going to take any messages I sent cussing you out after you cussed me out or was nasty to me for no reason, and then I reacted to you, so you provoked me and you knew I was going to react that way, and then you screenshot it and say, look at her, she's crazy. No, I'm not crazy, you're crazy, and I gave you a taste of your own medicine and you didn't like that. So then you need an audience. You could, instead of telling me what you thought, you were like making up silly lies. That is a typical narc smear campaign nonsense, and it is so pathetic. And it is painfully obvious that these people love attention. They need negative attention. Why do they need it so much? It is so weird. Anyway, I just, yeah, when I speak about narcs, it's very close to home and personal. It's exhausting. The only reason I talk about them on here so much is just because I want to warn people of the signs and the symptoms. And look up online Professor Sam Vaknin's videos. He helps people recognize what narcissism is, the different types and the behaviors, and then you can save yourself a lot of pain and anguish if you learn what a narcissist is and what they're capable of, and how devastating it can be to be subjected to narcissistic abuse and get trapped in a trauma bond, which is very hard to break, and that can damage you long term, emotionally, psychologically afterwards, because you'll never trust another human again. If you're lucky, you might move on, but you'll never truly trust anyone again after you've been through the ringer with a narc. So yeah, that's why I try to warn people as much as possible. And some people will have no choice but to keep the narcs in their life. It could be their parents, it could be their family, and they might not be able to break away from them. They might not feel that it's possible to disconnect from family, totally cut them off, despite even when there's severe abuse and stuff. But I had no choice but to cut off some family members, but that took years. There were years and years and years of abuse, and I had so much guilt when I didn't run in and rescue them, even though they would never do the same for me. And when it got to the last straw, where I was literally in a life or death situation and they wouldn't help me, and that really broke my heart into pieces that could never be repaired properly. The relationship between us was always them abusing me and me just trying to save them and change them and hoping they would change. And when I saw that, wow, even when my life is in danger, you don't care, then it really woke me up, and that guilt suddenly went away. Like, what were you feeling guilty for? They don't care if you live or die. Do you see it? And it was so painful. But yes, anyway, I'm gonna go now. Thank you everyone for being here. If you see, sorry, go to my channel, please. Unconquerable, is it Unconquerable? Yes, Unconquerable Soul 1111. Sometimes I say Unconventional Soul and get my own channel name wrong, which is a bit weird, but it's because I'm tired. But yeah, so like I said, I've been writing a book for over a year, and when that book comes out, I'll mention the name on here and where you can get it and stuff like that. So yes, please go to my channel, like, share, subscribe, go through the videos, see if anything you hear on there helps you or makes you smile or makes you think or you can relate to it. And then if it helps you in any way, I am so glad and grateful, because that's why I do these videos, not for money or views or likes. I genuinely want people to get something useful and helpful and positive out of the videos, maybe hopefully something I said could save your life, help you avoid a narc, or help you come out your depression, or something. But yeah, I just hope everyone, around the world has a great day or night. And that's all for now. Take care.